power of distorted thinking. As said by Mark Twain, old habits just can't be thrown out of the upstairs window. They have to be coaxed down the stairs one step at a time. It is not always easy to recognize when you are engaging in this kind of thinking. The point is that whatever thinking people do engage in, they tend to assume that even if it veers towards the negative, it is still rational. This is obviously the case in some instances when your state of mind is healthy, but usually when we are saddled with a dysfunctional state of mind, the negative thoughts are irrational in nature. Whenever you are in a situation to think negative, try to repel the thought strategy. Here, you must try to challenge your thoughts with a statement like, why assume thoughts about yourself and the world are always true? Second, remember that thoughts don't always reflect reality. They are just thoughts. They aren't reality. They are just the perception. Third, distorting mirrors don't reflect the way you really look. These are the statements you must keep reminding yourself whenever you are saddened by any negative thoughts. The strategy is very powerful in getting you out of the vicious circle of feeling bad, which then takes you to another negative thought, which then again makes you feel more and more bad. And the circle keeps on continuing without you noticing it, and at the end it causes a huge deal of damage to you. When you begin to analyze your thoughts in a typical day, you will become aware that a great deal of them are actually thoughts about the original thoughts. So we have a thought and then start thinking about that thought, and then start thinking about the thought over and over and again. In effect, what we often tend to do is have thoughts that are either engaged in analyzing or justifying the original thought. The brain spends much of its time rewriting all the various connections between your neurons. So it's constantly engaged in strengthening the ones that you use and doing the opposite. That is weakening for the ones you don't. Have you ever thought what exactly happens when you spend your life thinking in a distorted way? You strengthen the neural pathway and make it much easier to find and navigate the distorted path. The more the mind focuses on something, the more it gets involved. In the case of distorted or negative type of thinking, if we try to repair the thoughts and plant it with a healthier positive thoughts, it doesn't work. We need to let it go like a balloon in a string. It is more than enough to actually recognize and be aware of the negative thoughts. This means that you have stepped back and guessed its identity. That is, it's just a thought. And a thought is not necessarily is a fact. It's a perception, just a perception in our mind. When you gradually change your habit and start to develop an awareness of what a thought really is, you are on the way to self-empowerment because you are not making the mistake of identifying with it. The important thing is that these type of thinking form the core of the unhealthy thinking styles that prevents us from achieving a better life. They are true distortions which can severely hold you back from doing things which you might have already found out. After all, you are what you think. So here are a few examples which can help you classify a distorted thinking from a normal one. Number 1. Criticize yourself for past failures. Number 2. Doubt your abilities. 3. Fear future events. 4. Put yourself down. or have an expectations of failure. All these are not reality. They are just distorted thoughts created by your mind to pull you down in the journey of your success. The most important point to remember here is it makes no difference how strongly you believe something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make it true. Negative thoughts tend to zoom into your mind, do the damage, and then flip off again very quickly. So that you hardly notice the bite that has been left. Only later, when you start experiencing the feelings, do you notice that there has been an intruder in your consciousness. When unhelpful thoughts pop into your head, you will be able to instinctively put them into one or more of the categories. Here is an exercise for you to practice on and on to get rid of the distorted thinking pattern. After you have been taught the whole list, think about some distorted thoughts to which you may currently be subjecting yourself and place it into the relevant category. Now, attempt a healthier and more constructive internal dialogue with yourself and use the rebel the thought strategy to challenge this way of thinking. This will enable you to be more rational and allow you to dispute your beliefs and consequently change how you feel. Do it again and again whenever you have some kind of distorted thinking or thought. Whenever something bad pops into your mind, what you need to do is just force yourself to think something good. Force yourself to make you think something really fruitful which makes you happy. I know it's not easy, but it's you who will have to do it for yourself. Try it over and over again, and I am sure after many tries you will be able to do it. I am here standing in front of you. I did it for myself. If I can, you can as well.